Imagine living your daily life, working, spending time with your family, enjoying simple routines, and feeling that everything is perfectly normal. Suddenly, small changes begin to happen, subtle things that most people would easily dismiss. Perhaps you wake up more often during the night, maybe you feel a little weaker than usual, or you notice differences in your body that don't seem important at first glance. The truth is, those tiny signals could be warning signs your body is desperately trying to send you. The challenge? Most men ignore them until it's far too late. That's why today's video is not just another piece of content. It's potentially life-saving information that you, your father, your brother, or your best friend need to know right now. When it comes to prostate cancer, the second most common type of cancer in men worldwide, awareness and early detection are everything. What most people don't realize is that it often develops quietly, without causing severe pain or visible symptoms until it has progressed. By then, the chances of effective treatment can become much lower. But here's the good news, catching it early makes all the difference. That's why understanding these early signals, recognizing them, not ignoring them, and taking action at the right time, can literally save your life. Stay with me until the end of this video, because I'll be walking you through the 9 early warning signs of prostate cancer that are often overlooked. But more importantly, I'll explain why they happen, how you can recognize them without confusion, and what steps you can take if you notice them. The difference between catching these signs early or brushing them off could be the line between years of good health and a battle you never saw coming. Now, before we begin, I need you to do something important. Think of one man in your life, maybe a relative, a coworker, or even yourself. Hold that person in your mind as we go through these signals. This isn't just knowledge to keep, it's knowledge to share. Because sometimes, the information you pass on can make the biggest difference in someone else's life. The first thing you need to understand is that the prostate is a small gland, but it plays a huge role in men's health. Located just below the bladder, it helps produce fluids essential for reproduction. Because of its position in the body, when something goes wrong, it can directly affect urination, sexual health, and overall well-being. Many men shrug off urinary changes or fatigue as part of getting older, but that's a dangerous mistake. The body doesn't create random signals, it communicates, and when we learn how to listen, we have the power to prevent serious consequences. So let's break down what you need to look for. I'm not going to list them quickly and leave you confused. Instead, I'll explain why each signal happens, what it feels like, and why ignoring it could cost you more than you think. These are not exaggerated scare tactics. They are real, medically recognized signs that many men have overlooked, until it was too late. The first early signal is frequent urination, especially at night. Imagine this, you used to sleep through the night peacefully, but now you wake up 2, 3, even 4 times just to use the bathroom. You might laugh it off or think, maybe I just drank too much water before bed. But here's the truth. When the prostate begins to enlarge or develop abnormal changes, it presses against the bladder and the urethra, making it harder to empty your bladder completely. This leads to that constant urge to go again and again. While it doesn't mean you definitely have prostate cancer, it's one of the earliest red flags that should never be ignored. The second signal is difficulty starting or maintaining urination. Men often describe this as standing at the toilet, waiting, but nothing happens immediately, or the flow starts and stops unpredictably. Why does this happen? Because the prostate surrounds the urethra, and when it becomes affected, it disrupts the normal flow. It may start as just a minor inconvenience, but over time, it could be a sign that something more serious is developing. The third early sign is blood appearing in urine or semen. This one often shocks men, because it's much harder to dismiss. Even a small amount should never be ignored. The reason this happens is because abnormal changes in the prostate can cause irritation and bleeding in nearby tissues. And although blood can sometimes be caused by infections or other medical issues, it's always a red flag that requires immediate attention. Another crucial early warning signal is unexplained pain or stiffness in the lower back, hips, or thighs. This happens because as the condition develops, it may start to affect surrounding nerves and bones. Unfortunately, many men mistake this kind of pain for just aging, too much exercise, or even arthritis. But when discomfort persists and has no clear explanation, it's time to consider the possibility that your body is signaling something deeper. Now, here's where most men make their biggest mistake. They experience one or more of these symptoms but tell themselves, it's nothing serious. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and by the time they finally see a doctor, valuable time has been lost. Remember this, prostate cancer is not always aggressive, but when it is, it spreads silently. Every day you delay paying attention to these early signs is a day you allow it to grow unnoticed. The key takeaway from this first part of our video is this: don't dismiss subtle changes in your body. Health is not something to gamble with. If you notice these early signs, frequent urination, difficulty starting, blood in urine or semen, or unexplained lower back pain, take them seriously. They don't automatically mean you have prostate cancer, but they are signals that should never be brushed aside. The smart move is always to check, rather than assume. And here's the part that should truly sink in: prostate cancer caught early has one of the highest survival rates among all types of cancer in men. That's not just good news, it's proof that being proactive works. The earlier it's found, the more options you have, the less aggressive treatments need to be, and the better your long-term health outcomes. This is why I want you to keep watching. Because in the next section, we're going to dive even deeper into the remaining early warning signs that are often overlooked. Some of them may surprise you. Some may seem completely unrelated to the prostate, and yet, they are powerful indicators that something isn't right. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of all 9 signals, why they matter, and how they could protect your life, or the life of someone you care about. So don't go anywhere. The most surprising signs are still to come. Now that we've uncovered some of the first warning signs, let's move forward and talk about the ones that are even easier to ignore, but just as important. These are the signs that often slip through the cracks because they don't immediately scream, prostate problem. Yet, they are crucial signals your body might be sending. Remember, the whole purpose of this video is not to scare you, but to prepare you. Because when you're prepared, you take smarter decisions that could add years to your life. One of the next early signs is difficulty controlling your bladder. This could mean 2 different things. For some men, it appears as leakage, a few drops that escape when you cough, sneeze, laugh, or even when you rush to the bathroom. For others, it might feel like the urge to urinate is so strong and sudden that you almost can't hold it. Both of these patterns happen when the prostate starts affecting the muscles and nerves around the bladder. And let's be honest, many men don't talk about this because it feels embarrassing. But silence is dangerous here. If you ever experience this loss of control, don't write it off as just aging. Pay attention, because your body might be telling you something bigger is happening. Another signal you should not overlook is painful urination or painful ejaculation. Men often confuse this with temporary infections or even stress, and sometimes, yes, those can be the cause. But when the discomfort becomes consistent, it might be linked to inflammation caused by abnormal changes in the prostate. Pain is the body's alarm system, it doesn't exist without a reason. Think of it this way: would you ignore an alarm going off in your house at 2 a.m.? No, you'd get up immediately and check what's going on. Your body deserves the same reaction when pain keeps appearing. The next signal is erectile difficulties. This one can be particularly tough for men to talk about. Many assume it's purely psychological, related to stress, or simply a normal part of getting older. While those factors can certainly play a role, the truth is that changes in the prostate can also affect blood flow and nerve signals, creating persistent problems in this area. It's not just about performance, it's about your overall health. When something changes in your body suddenly and stays that way, it's a message you shouldn't ignore. Now let's talk about fatigue. We all get tired, especially in today's busy world. But this isn't about the kind of tiredness you feel after a long day of work. This is deeper, persistent fatigue that doesn't go away with rest. Some men describe it as feeling drained, like the body is working harder than it should for no clear reason. Why does this happen? Because when cancer starts to develop, it can put stress on your immune system, redirect energy, and make your body feel weaker than usual. Again, fatigue can come from many things, but when it lingers without explanation, it becomes a sign you must take seriously. Another crucial warning sign is unexplained weight loss. Imagine this: you're not dieting, you're not exercising more than usual, but the numbers on the scale keep dropping. At first, it may seem like a pleasant surprise. Many people even celebrate it. But here's the reality: unintentional weight loss is never something to celebrate. It's often one of the body's strongest signals that something is wrong. When abnormal cells grow, they demand energy, which can lead to noticeable weight changes without effort. This is one of those signs that men often realize only in hindsight, when it's already late. And finally, one of the most important early warning signals is swollen legs or discomfort in the pelvic area. This can happen when changes in the prostate begin to block the normal flow of fluids in your body. The result? Swelling, heaviness, or persistent aches in places you wouldn't normally connect to the prostate. This is why awareness is so powerful. The body rarely gives us random symptoms, there is always a reason. By recognizing patterns and connecting the dots, you give yourself the chance to act early. Now let's pause for a moment and recap. We've gone through 9 early warning signs. Frequent urination, especially at night. Difficulty starting or stopping urination. Blood in urine or semen. Persistent lower back, hip, or thigh pain. Bladder control issues. Painful urination or ejaculation. Erectile difficulties. Unexplained fatigue. Sudden weight loss or swelling in the pelvic area. When you hear them listed like this, it might sound overwhelming. You may even be thinking, I've had 1 or 2 of these before, should I panic? The answer is no. Remember, these signs don't automatically mean prostate cancer. They can be caused by many other health conditions. But here's the key difference: ignoring them is the worst choice you can make. Acting on them, getting checked, and staying informed is the smartest, most protective decision you can take. Here's something you might find surprising: according to global health studies, men who detect prostate cancer at its earliest stage have survival rates above 95%. That's an incredible number. But once it spreads, those numbers drop dramatically. This is why awareness campaigns stress the importance of early detection. It's not about living in fear, it's about living with knowledge and power. Let's think about it this way. Imagine 2 men, both in their early 50s. The first notices he's waking up too often at night and dismisses it. It's just age, he says, and continues his routine. A year later, he finally goes to the doctor, and the condition has already advanced. The second man notices the same thing but decides not to take chances. He visits his doctor, gets the necessary tests, and discovers the issue early. His treatment is simpler, his recovery is faster, and his life goes back to normal. The difference between these 2 men is not luck, it's awareness and action. And now, I want you to ask yourself, which one of these men do you want to be? The one who ignores and risks it all, or the one who takes control and protects his future? Before we wrap up this second part of the video, I want to emphasize one last point. Talking about prostate health is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. By paying attention, by sharing this knowledge, and by encouraging the men around you to do the same, you create a ripple effect of protection and awareness. One conversation, one video, one moment of action can literally save a life. And this is where we move into the final part of our video. Because now that you know the warning signs, it's time to understand what comes next, what steps to take, how to protect yourself, and how to approach your health with confidence rather than fear. This next part will give you practical strategies and encouragement to take charge of your prostate health and your overall well-being. So don't click away, because the most important information, the action steps that can make all the difference, are coming up next. Now that you know the 9 early warning signs, let's talk about the part that truly matters, what you should do with this knowledge. Because information by itself doesn't change anything, it's the action you take that creates real protection for your health and your future. The first thing to remember is this: never assume symptoms will go away on their own. So many men fall into this trap. They tell themselves, "It's nothing, I'll wait a little longer," until that little longer turns into months or even years. By then, the opportunity for simple, effective solutions may already be gone. The truth is, no matter how small or embarrassing a symptom feels, it deserves attention. Getting checked is not a weakness, it's the smartest and strongest decision you can make for yourself and your family. Here's the second point: understand your personal risk. Age is the biggest factor. Men over 50 have a higher risk, but that doesn't mean younger men should ignore this conversation. In fact, if prostate cancer runs in your family, whether a father, grandfather, or brother has had it, your risk increases significantly. Ethnicity also plays a role, with some populations being more vulnerable than others. The earlier you start being aware of your body and taking routine checkups seriously, the better your chances of staying ahead. Third, remember the role of lifestyle. While no one can control everything, the way you treat your body daily matters more than you think. Diets rich in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains provide antioxidants that support your body's defenses. Staying active keeps your weight under control and improves circulation. Limiting alcohol and avoiding smoking dramatically reduces your risk. These aren't just health tips, they are proven ways to strengthen your body's resistance against multiple diseases, including prostate cancer. But beyond prevention, here's the most powerful message of all: early detection saves lives. Doctors around the world emphasize the importance of regular screenings, such as the PSA blood test and digital exams, because they allow problems to be caught before they become dangerous. Many men are afraid of these exams, but let's be honest, a few minutes of discomfort is nothing compared to years of regret for ignoring your health. Think about your loved ones, your children, your partner, your friends. Taking care of your prostate health is not just about you, it's about being there for them in the future. Let's stop for a moment and reflect on something important. When we hear the word cancer, many people immediately think it means the end. But that's not the case, especially when we talk about prostate cancer. Detected early, it is one of the most treatable types out there. There are countless stories of men who discovered it in time, went through treatment, and returned to living full, healthy, and happy lives. The difference always comes down to awareness and action. So, what can you do starting today? Number 1, pay attention to your body. Don't ignore unusual changes, even if they seem small. Number 2, talk openly. Share what you've learned in this video with your family and friends. Many men suffer in silence simply because no one around them starts the conversation. And number 3, take control of your health by scheduling checkups regularly. Even if you feel perfectly fine, prevention is always better than cure. Here's something else to consider: fear often holds men back from seeking help. Fear of bad news, fear of procedures, or even fear of feeling vulnerable. But what's truly frightening is what happens when you let fear stop you from acting. Knowledge is not the enemy, it's the weapon that gives you power. And courage is not the absence of fear, it's moving forward despite it. When you decide to take action for your health, you're showing true courage, and that courage might give you many more years of life to enjoy with the people you love. As we reach the end of this video, I want to leave you with one powerful message: do not ignore the signs. We've talked about frequent urination, difficulty starting or stopping, blood in urine or semen, back or hip pain, bladder control issues, painful urination, erectile difficulties, fatigue, unexplained weight loss, and swelling. Each of these can be your body's way of whispering for help. Listen to that whisper before it turns into a scream. Now, I want to challenge you. If you found value in this video, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with at least one man you care about. A brother, a father, a husband, a coworker. It might feel like a simple gesture, but you never know whose life it could change. You might be the reason someone recognizes a symptom early and seeks help in time. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and turn on notifications. We create videos like this to spread awareness and empower people with the knowledge that could make all the difference. By subscribing, you not only stay informed, you also help us reach more people who need this vital information. Your health is your greatest investment. Take it seriously, protect it fiercely, and never ignore the signals your body sends you. Because one decision, one appointment, or one checkup could truly save your life. Thank you for staying with me until the end. Take care of yourself, share this video, and remember, you have the power to protect your future, starting right now.